Thanks so much for stopping by. My name's Austin. Today we're going to be looking at the high grade 1/144th scale Gundam Gquuuuuux. This is from the newest anime of the same name. I'm pretty sure it's a Gundam. They call it a Gundam in the show. It has the same color scheme, but it's a very different design. And with that comes a very different build, which I think was overall really enjoyable. There's some stuff we're going to talk about that's positives and negatives. And all I can say is I really enjoyed it overall. I really recommend it, but I'm also very much looking forward to a master grade or a real grade down the line. So before we start talking about the kit itself, I wanted to talk a little bit about the box and what comes inside of it and the build experience. So right off the bat, the box looks really, really good. I love this art style that they're going for. It definitely matches the feel of the show. And yeah, overall, I like it. I like the color scheme, all that. Pretty standard box images. Not really much to talk about, but I'm also not much of a box guy. What you get inside of that box, however, is pretty standard fare. You get your manual. It's nice. It's got some actual colored parts, which I actually really enjoy building this colored. It kind of gives you an idea of what the runners are going to be colored. I really like that too, just breaking down what kind of runners you're going to be needing for each individual segment. But yeah, standard manual, same as pretty much anything else. Then getting into the worst part of this kit for me, you get a set of foil stickers and you get a set of regular stickers. We all know high grades, they come with stickers. It's just a factor of the price point and trying to be accurate to the design without all of the color separation. These stickers, though, I don't know if it was just my experience, my release maybe, incredibly bad experience with these stickers. They don't stay. I couldn't get them to actually adhere. It felt like the adhesive wasn't even there on these. I'm hoping that it was just a dud from the factory for mine, but as soon as I took it off of the sticker sheet, I mean it some of them just wouldn't adhere. Some of them would. You can see them on the figure. They look really good when they're on there. I mean, they're obviously stickers, but they're pretty good when they actually work. The ones that I didn't have a problem with are these foil stickers. The adherence was much better on these. Biggest issue for me with these is a lot of them are actually flat. Like you'll see, it's yellow and black, and they're all flat finishes. But when you're applying them, this may be a problem of how I choose to apply them. When I'm using tweezers, I'll usually try and smooth it out with the other end of the tweezer. And just that little bit of metal contact was enough to kind of scrape away bits and pieces of the foil. It doesn't really show too badly until you get up close to them, but some of these more important stickers end up showing a little bit of metallic finish, which I don't think was intentional. But yeah, the sticker experience is maybe a little bit worse than I would say standard high grades are. But then getting into the runners, this is your mixed color A. Then you've got B for all of the. I did this wrong. Should have had them flipped. Here we go. I'm gonna flip them. B is just your standard inner frame kind of gray finish, pretty great. C and D are this really nice kind of off-white. It's got like a bluish hint to the white, which I really like. It sets apart this color scheme without making it too different. I mean, honestly, even once it's on the kit, it's not even that noticeable. But just when you get it out of the box, they're very similar to white, but they're not quite not quite white. Then you have E. This is a much more like a pastel kind of blue. Really like, again, the whole color scheme of this guy. I'm a really big fan of. But yeah, this is your E runner, and then you have your F runner with pretty standard red. This doesn't really look much different than the normal red, but I mean, it doesn't have to. The rest of the colors kind of speak for themselves. And then you got G with your beam saber blade. I don't even know if it's really called a beam saber. It looks a lot different. This looks really good. I don't think it's going to come through very clear on camera, but it's molded in with kind of a glitter effect that looks really nice. I don't feel like I see that very often on beam effects, and it comes through great on the actual beam sabers. So I would say the build for this guy is pretty standard fare for a high grade kit. It's a really fun, enjoyable build. I mean, um, it all comes together really well. The stickers are frustrating, but they're not. I would say they could have been worse. They're very fiddly. You know, the smaller ones are a bit more of an annoyance to put on, but you know that's pretty standard for high grade. So yeah, overall build experience was really good on this guy. Definitely what you would expect from a high grade. But next, let's go ahead and take a look at the aesthetics of the figure. So now I'm taking a look at the Gquuuuuux, or just the Quux. Sometimes they call it that. Again, I've seen most of the show, but I'm not entirely sure if it is an actual Gundam or what that's going to be. I know Gquuuuuux is a placeholder name, so really curious what that's going to turn out to be. Anyways, up close to the Gquuuuuux, I have it in the Omega Saikamu state. Probably butchered the pronunciation of that. With this kind of activated head, it comes with the alternate head, but I really like the look of this one. In fact, getting up close, you got stickers on here, but they are very effective. These head cameras are a sticker. The whole gray piece is that sticker. Then you have really small one for this reflective camera part. Then the eyes obviously are colors. I guess I should mention this is panel lined and flat coated. So I don't really do the whole out of the box thing. As soon as I'm done with it, I panel line and then flat coat to keep all the stickers in place. To me, that's really low barrier to entry for building a Gundam. I think that if you're going to work on any kind of Gunpla model kit, you might as well just go the very small extra mile of panel lining and top coating. So to me, this is out of the box to me. It honestly doesn't even add that much on this kit. There wasn't that much to panel line, but these little black spots are a result of panel lining. So, anyways, yeah. So really like the head sculpt for the Omega Saikamu mode. Going down, these are some stickers. You'll see my application is off on this one, and it's driving me crazy. And the camera's actually bringing out. That's what I'm talking about how the metallic finish can show through on the foil if you're not careful. And clearly, I wasn't careful. Kind of nice. You get the option. I put the Pomeranians logo on there. You can do the Xeon logo depending on which version of the Gundam you're wanting to use. But yeah, it looks good. Something that I do really like about this, we're going to talk about it a little bit more in posability, but these rotate, which is a nice extra effect for when you attach the shield. So like that. These stickers, again, they don't show too terribly as stickers. You know, I mean, there's definitely a little bit of a ridge there, but hopefully with flat coating and everything, it'll be okay. This isn't color separation. This is sticker parts. They don't look as good. You know, obviously, any kind of sticker that wraps around a surface tends to show a little bit. You know, you got the edges, but they're so small. I mean, they're really not that noticeable. All in all, color separation on this is really good. It's definitely lacking when you compare it to the source material, but it's a high grade, you know. Also, some of the stickers just straight up aren't on there because they wouldn't adhere. Um, you have on the back, I'm assuming this is the, I guess it's the core fighter because it'll separate off, and when we look at the accessories, you'll see the actual. If we can get it off, yeah, you'll see the actual piece that goes on there to kind of make up the core fighter. In the show, I haven't seen the most recent episode that's out right now. Um, we haven't seen it turn into a core fighter yet, I don't think. But overall, I really like the design of this as both a jetpack and a fighter. On the back, these are attachment points for the beam sabers when they're just the hilts, when they're not active, obviously. I like the way that looks when it's applied. If you look in the show, she actually Amate doesn't have the beam sabers yet, so curious where those are gonna come in. But yeah, so aesthetics on this guy overall, I really like this departure. It kind of reminds me of the Barbatos. I know it's, you know, people have different opinions, and obviously Gundam means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But to me, a new interpretation like this, a bold departure, I think works really well. We've gotten enough Granddaddy Gundams, and as much as I love that design, I mean, it's iconic. Um, to me, more variation is good. More options are good. There's no telling who this is going to appeal to other than Eva fans, because this is an Eva. So this is absolutely an Evangelion unit. But I don't mind that. I think it looks really good. And yeah, I'm really happy with the overall aesthetics of this kit. Big fan. So now looking at the accessories for the high grade Gquuuuuux. This is the, I guess, unactivated state head sculpt. I really like this too. You do kind of notice those rivets should be black, but considering for a high grade kit, those would absolutely just be more fiddly, tiny stickers. I'm not going to complain about the color inaccuracy because I think that would probably drive me insane. But yeah, really like this head sculpt. I think it's probably not really ever what I'm going to be displaying the kit with, but it's a really good option, and I'm sure some people actually prefer it this way. You do have stickers on these kind of vent parts, which overall they look pretty good. I mean, you can tell they're stickers when you look real close up at it, but no biggie. And then the same kind of lens green reflective piece right there. So yeah, it's good to have options. Always nice to have a simple transformation, pretty much just swapping out head pieces. Next up, you get the Heat Hawk that isn't really supposed to go with this mobile suit, but I mean, it's pretty much Amate's weapon of choice, so makes sense you would include it. I really like the redesign. It's a very simple redesign. It looks mostly like a normal Heat Hawk, but the shape of the blade seems a little bit different where it kind of tapers down there. But yeah, overall, really like this. Kind of lacking in detail a little bit, but it's a high grade Heat Hawk. I'm not really too disappointed that it's just a piece of black plastic, but looks good. Then we have the shield accessory. Now this actually attaches to the Gquuuuuux in a really cool way. This is kind of a cuff that goes over the. Oh, my camera's getting mad at me now. It goes over the wrist part, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in the posability. But yeah, I like this. I think there's supposed to be red accents on this shield, if I'm not mistaken, but it looks good. It's simple. It gets the job done. I like the shape of the shield. It's a little bit of a departure from a standard mobile suit or Gundam shield. Next, we have this is kind of the head, or I guess cockpit, for the Gquuuuux's core fighter. So I'm assuming this is kind of what's inside the chest, and it's what is eventually going to turn into the core fighter. If we want to look at the way that is with the actual unit, just attach it right there, swing these out, and there you have the Gquuuuuux core fighter. Real simple. It's kind of goofy looking, but honestly, the mobile suit as a whole is pretty goofy looking. So I like this. I'm excited to see it in the show. I'm assuming this is the instructions tell you to do it this way, so I'm assuming this is correct. But yeah, I really like it as a core fighter design. It's cool. Then we have the beam rifle. Up to this point, I don't think we've seen this in the show yet. You have a sticker in there for the camera part. It's kind of a reflective purple. Looks really good. I really like this design. In fact, I'm really glad that they did color separation on this. It's two pieces sandwiched together, and then you have the white is a single piece. It kind of goes inside, and then, oh my gosh, my camera is getting mad at me. This cap's on the back, and this cap's on top. And yeah, I don't think we see much color separation in weapon accessories on high grade kits, and this is a really good example of it, and I really like it a lot. I also just like the design in general. Then we get, I stopped using my tweezers, let me get those back. Then we get the beam saber. These are little pieces that go on the back of the hip skirts for the Gquuuuuux. Really like this beam effect. It's got kind of a serration to it. It gives it the effect of like that, warbling energy. Again, something I'm really excited to see in the show. Let me know in the comments if this was in episode 1. It's been a while since I saw that episode, and I'm curious if these were used in that initial fight with the Red Gundam. I'll probably go back and watch it and find out. But anyways, really like the look of these. You get 2 of them. They're exactly the same. This is the other one. You wouldn't know if I didn't tell you because they're identical, but nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's kind of standard for Gundam. Then you get 2 weapon holding hands. These are pretty standard. The sculpt as a whole looks really good. If my camera would focus in, it really like the effect on these. If is it gonna? There we go. Um, yeah, it looks a little bit different. It has that same boxy grip, but I like them. I'm not going to display these on the figure if I'm not using them with a weapon, especially because you do get open hands, which I don't think is really a standard for high grade, but when we get them, they're really cool. To be fair, I don't collect a ton of high grade. I'm more of a real grade collector. But I really like this. I'm really happy with the fact that they included them, and the sculpt looks great. Pretty expressive sculpting on these. Obviously, it's just full black plastic, but nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's pretty much what they look like in the show. So, yeah, that's all the accessories that come on this guy. I think it's standard fare for a high grade. There's even stuff in this that we haven't seen in the show yet. So, yeah, I'm all good with it. I really like them a lot. As we see more of the show, I'm sure there will be some stuff that might come in a different variation of the Gquuuuuux, or maybe an accessory pack. But yeah, as a whole package, I think it's really good. I really like the accessories on display. Next, we'll go ahead and take a look at the posability of the Gquuuuuux. Looking now at the posability on the high grade Gquuuuuux, this guy, he does some really interesting things with posing. I think it all comes together to create a really good set of articulation points that works really well. So we'll just go ahead and get straight into it. The head is on a ball joint. It hinges in the head, which is really good. It can look up that high, and then this collar piece is kind of on its own little ball joint in there, so it can look up like that. It kind of arcs forward to create a more natural down. I don't know if you can see that. Buries the chin really well. Really good posability on the head. Really like that. You get your pretty standard side to side here. It's kind of hindered by these little, I don't know what you'd call these, I guess, bigger uh, collars, I guess. Uh, but yeah, really good side to side all the way around. Very expressive head. Then if we want to come to the shoulder, you get butterflies. They go forward and back. Really good range on that. Really like that. These shoulder pads will articulate a ton. So you can get them out of the way if you want to bring the shoulder up. Oh, starts to hit the head. Goes up about that far. Really like that. Really good range of movement. It shifts a little bit on the actual chest unit, which is really nice to keep it natural. I mean, for a high grade, there's a lot of detail here that I'm a big fan of. I really like the way that it looks. So then you get your bicep swivel is actually at this red point. This piece is a separate piece of color separation, which I'm really glad about. Does a good job of separating and kind of hiding that joint there. But yeah, it goes all the way around if you want it to, but real nice and tight, really good articulation point. Then you have single jointed elbows, which is fine because of the design. You get a super deep bend because it has that little pocket there, kind of like a Rebel Tech would, or a Sentinel. Um, yeah, really good articulation for a single joint. You can get more articulation out of a Gundam than, or any kind of mecha, than just like a normal person, because you can make cuts like that and it looks natural because it's a big robot. Then this is the articulation that I was talking about for the shield. This rotates freely, which doesn't really mean anything on its own. Both sides do it, which allows for this to attach. If I can do it correctly on camera, there we go. Now it's attached and it swivels freely. So that is really cool. It'll give you some more posability options for how you want the shield displayed, but it also means that it can get out of the way pretty easily depending on what you're trying to do. Then standard hand articulation, just a simple ball joint. Oh, simple ball joint that can pop out real easily. Good articulation in the arms. Pretty happy with that. Then if we want to come to the chest does something really interesting. It can actually, it sits together really well and very clean. It doesn't break up the lines, but if you wanted to arch it forward, this exposes and you get a little bit of that kind of inner frame as it comes forward. Love that. I think that looks really, really cool. It also allows for some side to side little bit tight in there, but great posability on the whole ab section of the mobile suit. Really like this. And then it all closes in and looks like there's no cuts, except for cuts that should be there from the panels. So that, oh man, I know, I know it's probably just a very simple thing, but I'm just a really big fan of that. I really like when Bandai does stuff like that and makes it feel like a robot that has moving panels and pieces. So I like that a lot. Getting down to the waist, we have pretty loose ball joints. They have kind of a locking nut, so I think you go forward and they pop out. I'm not gonna do it because I don't really want to pop them out, but they're really, really good amount of rotation there from this joint right here. There's multiple places that allow for it to go all the way around. You can get pretty good split here. This obviously gets in the way. It doesn't move. It's fixed in place, but still, that's really good out for everything you got going on in the thighs there. Then you go forward. Forward can go really, really high. It starts to obviously kind of separate away. If you don't want to separate it at all, you get over 90, so really good. Back should be even better because you got, oh yeah, you have nothing in the way. So you got full movement there. Get down to the knees. Knees do the same kind of thing where they're on a single joint, but they have that cut there so that you can just cleanly pop it right there. Really, really good bend. Really deep. Really looks good. It comes forward a little bit too and kind of hits at that point, so you have a lot of control over that. Something very interesting they did with this, the feet are super weird. Something I'm not a huge fan of is how hollow they are, but at the same time, that's not too dissimilar from how it looks in the series. So a little bit hollow, but not the worst thing in the world. The ankle pivot comes from a ball joint that's in there that holds onto this cylinder part and allows it to get pretty good pivot there. Really like that. And then you've got the front and back on a peg that pegs into the cylinder. So allows for a ton of movement. It almost feels like transformation for a transformable suit, but as far as I know, that's not the intention, unless this suit ends up transforming and then they got to do another release. But yeah, overall, the articulation on this figure for a high grade is pretty, I'd say above average. I'd say posability on this guy is really, really solid, and it does some very interesting things, especially with the shoulder pauldrons, with that uh, ab crunch. Yeah, really, really happy with the posing on the high grade Gquuuuuux. Next, we'll look at some comparisons and then we'll wrap it up. When it comes to comparisons, I unfortunately don't have very many any Gquuuuuux options because this is the first of the line that I've gotten. Hopefully, as we get more, we'll have some more to look at. But this is just going to be a few size comparisons for the different grades because it's just whatever I have most accessible. This is the Solari type Zaku from Requiem for Vengeance, another high grade, one of probably my favorite high grade next to the Gundam EX. Just love all the surface detail on this guy. Looks almost like a real grade. But yeah, size wise, he looks pretty standard for the 1/144th scale. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Next, we have the real grade 1/144th scale new Gundam. This makes sense. Obviously, this mobile suit is a lot bigger. It's kind of a bit of a throwback. I was going through some of my older kits and feeling nostalgic and decided to bring this one out for comparison. This works really well. I think it's in scale for what they should be. Obviously, Universal Century and Gquuuuuux are different, but kind of parallel what ifs. So kind of fun to think about what a new Gundam would look like in the Gquuuuuux style. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see something like that. But for master grade, we have the 1/100th 3.0 RX-78 to Granddaddy Gundam. Again, scaling on this is solid. Obviously, it's not in scale for 1/100th. It's not supposed to be. But these look really good together. When you put the RX-78 next to the Gquuuuuux, you can really see the Gundam influences. You have very similar color separation, but also at the same time, it's really its own beast. I mean, it should be. It's not the RX-78 in the show. We obviously know that that's a different mobile suit, but yeah, they look really good together, and I really can't wait for the master grade interpretation of the Gquuuuuux. So wrapping up my review for the high grade 1/144th scale Gquuuuuux, I really recommend this. I think it's absolutely worth the price of admission. It's about $25 depending on where you get it. I think the stickers hold it back more than I would say a standard high grade does. I think the stickers are just really poorly implemented. Again, I hope that that's just an issue with mine and it's not across the board. But I mean, that's my experience with the figure. So as far as I know, that's kind of the standard. So that's how I'm going to be rating it. But when it comes to the accessories, the aesthetics of the kit, how much it matches the look in the anime, and some of the pretty inspired things that they did with articulation in terms of the overall look of this guy and the ideas that they had to keep it fresh, keep it unique. I really recommend it. I like it a lot. I wanted to try and implement a ranking, a scale kind of thing, similar to what different figure reviewers do. And hopefully this works. Let me know if you guys like it or if you think it's kind of dumb. I wanted to go from a scale of 1 to 5, basically. I'll put it up on screen so that you can kind of understand what I'm talking about. But it goes first grade, high grade, real grade, master grade, perfect grade. Um, Basically, that's just going from don't recommend this guy, even if it's on clearance or unless it's on a deep clearance, all the way up to a complete groundbreaking design in terms of its line or in terms of just action figure model kit in general. I want that to apply to all of my reviews. Obviously, Gunpla is just one aspect of my collecting, but it's a huge one. It's kind of what got me into collecting as a whole. So it's definitely representative of what I enjoy about this hobby. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. On that scale, I'm gonna go with master grade for this. No, I'm sorry. I'm gonna pull it back. I'm gonna go real grade. I think it's kind of recency bias. It's my excitement for the show, and it's just the enjoyment of finishing a kit and looking at it in all of its glory. I think it's a real grade. I think it's kind of middle of the road. It's definitely worth picking up, especially if you're a fan of the anime or just the design of this mobile suit in general. The stickers really do hold it back, in my opinion. The color separation isn't really perfect with what we see even on the box art. Um, but all in all, it is definitely worth the price. The accessories make it worth it, including stuff that we haven't even seen that kind of future proofs this release. Yeah, I really like it overall. I think it's definitely worth picking up, and that's about it for this figure. Future review, I'm hoping on releasing the DB Toys Ultimate Spider-Man symbiote suit. I already have that one recorded and ready to go, but I didn't want to just do uh, nonstop Spider-Man for my first few reviews, and I figured it was about time that I brought out a Gundam since it is the namesake of the channel. So that one's ready to go. It's ready to be uploaded, but let me know if there's anything else you guys are interested in me taking a look at. I'm very open to it. I'm kind of just enjoying getting better at this review process. Hopefully you guys like what I'm putting out. Any comments, criticisms, anything, put them in the comments and I will be happy to read them. So like I said, my name's Austin. This is Gundam Customs. Like, share, subscribe, all that junk. All right. Hope you have a good day.